I start adding what is called structural water in the area.
As part of the burn process, which agriculturist farmers never understood, when you burn the end of the harvest, you feed nanomaterial to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it works. The burning, you absorb nitrogen for the next cycle.
Yeah, but here at this point, nobody does that anymore. You know,
Yeah.
they're pushing the fertilizers, and the land don't produce it, or you don't put fertilizers. You know.
Yeah, but this, I understand that. Carry on, we're just learning.
Okay.
Just
all right.
because we've done some experiments in the background.
I just wanted to confirm and get some tips, you know, for my next research. Because first, like I said, my intention wasn't to go to a really detailed development of a project. You know, it was curiosity from the beginning to see what will happen, and I didn't put the protocols of a project, you know, for to experiment. It wasn't done at that level. I wanted to see just, like I said, let's get this corn. This corn was the one that was shared in the area from South Mexico, that they use this to make tortillas, and they make all kind of things with us. And I wanted to see, to acclimatize those corns to my area. That was the first purpose, you know, in the whole project that I was doing. I want to create a bank of seeds that will give a to my own power to have the control of those seeds that will be organic and not GMO, not contaminated, you know, and grown in the best open pollinated situation that will have a good, good seed that will create a good density product, a lettuce that will grow really full of nutrients, you know. That was my idea in the whole thing. And I have all kind of, like these were only the corns. I've been collecting all kind of seeds. Now that the materials are in the ground, I'm watching how those seeds behave in the next growing seasons. But I already have the seeds, and I'm selecting the seeds to be used, especially with the with the water and creating the permanent fertilizers. As I said, as soon as the idea of creating this shield of protection, you know, putting the rings to see if we can protect the plants against the cold and the heat, you know, I start creating and later in the photos you will see some PVC pipes across that I'm doing like
you're creating a non-visible greenhouse.
Yeah, non-visible greenhouse with PVC pipes, where the water, the GAN's water, is going to be there in those areas. But in the same spot you see where I was putting the nanomaterials, I'm putting a small tube that will circulate the GANs around the whole plot and being circulated, plus being the nanomaterials already over there. My idea that will also be a shield, but this hasn't been activated in this phase. It's going to be activated in my third phase. I'm going to be putting the permanent fertilizers. The nanomaterials are going to be circulating in this PVC.
I think I can give you a tip because I've done something with this. Nano coat your tubes. They become permanent fertilizers.
Okay.
But don't use a high pressure water. Use a very low pressure water, and place to place change your pipes. Like if you can add a small piece of metal pipe, a copper pipe, a plastic pipe, and nano coat all of them. Okay. Then you
inside
get pardon?
Inside and out?
Inside and out, yeah, because your energy goes through the water, huh? When the water passes, you have to use a very low speed, like a human stomach, to absorb as much energy as possible. So if you are watering, let's say, 2 hours a day, or 5 minutes an hour, every hour, water quarter of an hour at a lower speed, but the same amount, that the water can absorb the energy of the nano-coated in the pipe. And one of the things which I think might help you is try to multiple different materials. This nano coating will help you in a way you don't need to produce introduce GANs into it. The reason for it is the nanomaterial inside the pipe will energize the water, and the nano coating outside the pipe with the salt of the land and the rain will create the GANs in the water. So you go two ways, you do both at the same time.
Okay, and the water that is the water that is going to irrigate those plants. For example, that the one that you see here is a water that comes from my water reservoir that I put a timer for this to release the water. If I nanocoat that big pipe, you know, and the water is going to be energized and changed. I have a nanomaterials here, as you see here. This is
sticking out.
Aluminum wire. In some areas I put copper wires, in some areas I put zinc wires, and I did different combinations, you know, for each plant to be. And I observed after 1 year that those materials, they keep the nanocoating thing. The copper wires were still black. They didn't oxidize. They kept the nanocoated look. The same thing with this aluminum wire. It is still white and it didn't dissolve, you know, into the field.
Okay.
That's one of the things that I observed. Even the zinc mesh that were nanocoated that put in around the root, they're still intact as they were nanocoated when I took them out in the container. And that's what I'm being kind of recording those details. This is the chili peppers that were burned on 2014. That was the size when the idea came from the Mexican group to do these little tubes with guns, and I start replicating the process. And that's what I have at least for 2415. These areas, these plants are so huge that some of them put so many stalks, and some of them they fell back in the sides of so many, you know, and I have to tie them, you know, in a way that they will get stronger because I cut them to the bottom, you know. They were not the original plant; they had the same strength, you know. They were almost little some branches, you know, new branches. And I had to take care of this time. And this time, these are really very huge, you know. And that I have in the videos, the picture. I wasn't able to put that picture in the workshop for you to see how tall they are. They are so huge.
Can we have a look at it?
And the videos. Yeah, I don't have the. I have the videos on my tablet, and I don't have a way to run the videos and that you can see them.
Is it part of the pictures that I was sent? I was sent like...
Yeah, there are some, but not this plant that you see here at the same spot. I have the videos with the whole patch. This, you see them very small, and the patch this is a huge. The plants are so huge right there, you know. As I left a few days ago the farm, these were already producing the peppers, and they were flowering a lot, and they were every time more heavy with the load of the peppers. Sometimes they were just.
Can I ask you a question? This brings me to a very vital question. And as you are trained or you've done your education back in biochemistry and alternative, what I call herbal medicine or whatever you explained to us.
Mm-hmm.
This brings a very big question mark. Maybe you have thought about it, maybe you haven't, maybe we have to look. Does this mean going with me, I never look at the physical appearance. I look what's inside it, what brings about. Can we, in an indirect way, say that we are using, for example, let me go back to explain to you where I'm coming from. Now we see results from China. Hopefully we have Carly to explain to us a little bit more if he wants to. That have we come to a point with humanity that we can create, like the crops you have, that they carry the healing material inside them. Because if they carry, if we are using, for example, CO2 GANs it's getting used in the pens to release pain. We are using CO2 nano, what do you call it, copper nano coated to eradicate cancer. The way it's getting used, reducing tumor, which is getting used by the past. Have we come to the point, maybe with your research, that we can produce plants using CO2 GANs or whatever other gases that they are by nature medical herbs, and we can eradicate all the diseases just by growing the plant, by eating the chili pepper, which carries the information or the energy of the CO2 which is embedded in it, which you have changed it by watering it. Have we produced, or are we producing medicine plants for every cure? So you're an expert, you're educated in that field.
Well, with the
on the verge of that side.
Well, I've been thinking about those in the philosophy that is used around in the permaculture areas. You know, people walk barefooted when they are doing the prepping of the land. You already putting part of your vibration from the plants to give you what you need. Your sweat, your liquids will give information to the plant in that way to have a plant that will give you what you need. If you are, because the connection between you, the ground, and the area is a synergy in working with this. It's not just mechanically that you come in and put stuff, you know. There is a connection that happens right there too. That's my belief, you know, in this.
No, what I'm trying to get at is that now in Mexico, you're developing, you've done this, you're using the material. Have you seen any changes as you've been consuming the harvest with you and your family and the people around your area? Have you seen any changes in the health of your people? Less cold, much stronger, serene behavior? Do we have have you reached the point of the harvest creates the psychological and physical effects which can be done without consuming the material? Well, can we sell happy, as I call happy chilies?
All right, I haven't got to the extent of really measuring or observing those, because this last year was my first trials with the harvest, those chili peppers that I still have, and I have shared with after I dry them, still I'm consuming those, you know. And
do you feel any different yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I feel I never get sick in that sense. I don't have the attacks of the cold or things, you know. I feel more energy.
Did you used to have?
Yeah, I mean, I feel different before, you know. I saw that I feel less hunger, you know. Just be eating a few of them, because everything that I have over there, I just go and take a few leaves of everything and make my own salad. Just from that moment, go and cut what I need for my salad. It probably is already giving me the enough energy just to keep going in my experiments, you know, and doing the labor.
Have you? No. I'm trying to go back and trying to put some rational thinking into this. Let's say, let's say that your families, your friends around, do they see such a change? Do you see such a change that they get less sick?
I mean, they have. The ones who have taken, and they were part of helping me to harvest, and they are also partaking of those guns. They feel that they feel better. And like I said, I had to double check with them what else if they know any difference. You know, I haven't done that research with them. My idea wasn't more focusing in
but sometimes I understand, but I'm just trying to see if something has been observed in that direction.
Yeah, what I have observed just in the area after I start putting nanomaterials and the reactors, Starship reactors in my land, this year was one of the years we had the most water in the aquifers that the year before we didn't have any water in the wells. There was a problem. I wasn't even being part of some research, you know, of checking the wells and any water. There was no water there. And this time we have water almost for 20 years from now on, from the water that came. I don't know if because I start bringing that frequency of the reactors in the area and started bringing more rain. I don't know if there was.
Well, you're running reactors on the site as well?
Yeah, I'm doing the Starship reactors. I start doing.
How many of them?
I have one that I began working with them, and I have a small reactors. You know, that I have one little reactor that is in my windmill. That is turning, as the wind comes, it turns the reactor right there all the time. And I do have, from some time, I have my Starship reactor just working in the farm, 24 hours. They've been activated with a solar panel with little fans, you know, the first one that I did was with little, the fan from the computers. And I put the ping pong balls in the cups of the Coca-Cola bottle, and I glued them to the motor and start, you know, activating that.
Rick, work reaches parts you can never think, Rick, huh? Ping pong balls are going a long way.
And that happened because of Rick, you know, when I saw the first thing.
Yes. Yeah. I was talking today, there's an advertising it used to be in English television about the Heineken beer. We were talking about it last night. And it says, Heineken reaches the part that no other beer can reach. I think this goes with Rick's balls. Ping pong
well, in a way, they came from China, and they have returned back to China, too. So it's been all around the world.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a simple idea, but effective.
Yeah, like I said, I have those reactors working in the year. I don't know if that also helped with the environment. I'm doing some kind of other experiments right there, energy experiments regarding rain, you know, and cleaning the area from, you know, toxic materials. And I don't know if that was part of what is called the Nino or the Niña effect. You know, every year, you know, when you come these changes of climate, now we have so much water that we didn't have the past years. I don't know, I don't want to say that it was part because I put a reactor there. Probably was, I don't know. Have you seen any other people who doubt those reactors that the area changed?
What, is it just your area or is it the other areas in Brazil?
I don't know, that is what I was asking. Somebody has had an experience on the areas, if they have a change, if there is a change of weather or things in their areas after they start.
No, I mean, no. Put it this way, you have your local area in Brazil where you
in Mexico,
in Mexico, yeah. Let's go 2 kilometers down the road, 5 kilometers down the road. Is it the same with everybody, or is it just with you which increased the water?
I mean, the river from there, it went around the area. Yes, the river just came alive again after this year. Water was not even in the river. Now is one of the attractions over there, the water, you know, going there in the options and just jump into the water. And it didn't happen the years before. It was completely dry. And now we have a lot of water with these rains that we got, you know. It seems like the water just came out from the ground this time. And that's the reason I was asking if anybody had any observations with the reactors being run in the areas, if weather had changed or not, you know. I'm just myself, observing here these conditions of what's happening in this area.
Can we have a look at some of your the harvests?
In I don't know, right here is one of the corns that these ones grew up to, let's say, 13, 14 feet tall. These are very tall. This one is the one in the left from the top going in the left side. That's the one that was pointed to me the way how they grow in the area with this person in Colima. They knows the ones that I have. They have also these were not the biggest one that I have. Only these are the ones that's still growing there right now. And one of these specimens that's the one that have twin cones and triplets and they have different things showing in them. That's what I start, you can see in the right side, you see the corns. Some one are in trees and some ones are twin corns. What I mean, two corns in one corn growing. And you see one coming from the side and the other one is inside. I didn't want to open those. I want to see I want to observe how they develop. And at the end of the harvest, see what's there. And the other ones too, because the condition, you can see this one was measuring 15 feet tall after they were so huge that they were holding themselves in the branches of the mesquites. A lot of the harvest, I lost a lot of the parcel I was growing because they were so tall that the wings, they were breaking in half. And I lost a lot of the research from there because, I put them too close thinking that nitrogen produced by these nanomaterials would be enough, and I didn't feed anything as a regular, working. I didn't work the land as the people do when they grow corn. I just want to observe at these conditions what I'm getting. And this one, where I'm standing there, all of them grew an average of 13 and a half. The biggest one, 15. That I'm measuring.
Well, what's the normal size height?
The normal size over there, for those one, I didn't know until this person told me it's about 3 meters, it's about 10 feet around that area, 3 meters tall. Some of them, the varieties. And I didn't,
but the number of corns, according to your man, is it the same number?
They say they only grow 2. There.
Two corns altogether.
In the plant, one in one side and one in the other side of the plant.
How many corns do you observe on the ones you're growing?
Well, the specimens that I'm watching right now, developing, some of them, like you say, you run the videos up, you will see some corns are, even in the archive of pictures that I sent you, there are corns that have, for example, this is developing 4. This is developing 3, and I have other one developing 7 clusters. And they are.
Do you think all of them will come to be able
to produce a seed? I don't know. I just cut one that has a little one and another big one, and that one was already producing seeds inside.
So the harvest grows. This is what we've seen with the wheat grow here in Europe, with the increased numbers. So what it is you're confirming, irrespective of seed, we can grow the same increase in harvest.
Yeah, like it's here you see a clustered corn, and I have other ones that 3 corns or 7 corns, the one that I have taken apart in the pictures. There were 7 corns, and later we call bastardos, bastard corns, that sometimes they take energy from the other corn. But I say if I want to put this nanomaterial, probably they will have enough thing to grow. And now I'm observing those things that I'm going to see how many plants are developing these characteristics, and they're.
But are you supporting them with the guns that they can have enough?
No, I didn't want to do that. I want to do that in the 3rd phase of the.
Okay.
That's the reason why I let it go with this condition. This has 3 corns, 1 in the center, and it has 2 more here growing kind of strong. You can see there are.
This is abnormal growth.
Yeah, for those people who were the guy who told me this, I never see this growing corn in that way in the cornfields that I've been working in my area of Colima. And then I said, well, and this is something is doing here, something's happening. I don't know if because I put these seeds to in the plasmatic soaking for a week. You know, I put these seeds already in the tray, in a double wall tray with all the guns. And I don't know if that was part of the whole thing I'm observing. That's the reason I wanted to share it. And I did, in the beginning, start seeing plants that were growing like grass. You know, one seed of corn, it will produce up to 4 things in the side. And I lost some of those plants because I wasn't careful, you know, the dogs going through there and cut little branches. They didn't.
Somehow dogs get attracted to these plants.
Yeah.
My son was growing these in England, and the dog kept on going and eating it, and it kept on growing. And we couldn't understand why the dog is going to keep on eating the wheat, because if you remember 4 or 5 years ago, we see the seed experiment in 7 locations around the world. And our third son was growing it in Manchester, and the dog kept on eating it, and it was growing. It kept on until he actually uprooted the seed. The plant keeps on growing, and animals somehow find the energy they need from this plant. It's very strange.
Yeah, like I said, here just are a few of them that not only I recorded the size that they grew, but the anomalies that, like I say, in one of my spots where I was planting in the first slice, I have some corn growing in phases over there. I call them phases. The first phase was already harvested, and that's the one I'm using for my third phase for the August planting that is already growing. I'm using that. I want to create conditions different to the ones that I did this time, putting the guns and giving more care to the plants, more dirt, you know, for them to stand in the ground, not to be thrown by the.
Did you see any change in harvest from the first phase to the second phase?
I mean, the second phase is going. That's what you see right now. This is the second phase of the first phase, where the color corns, that was a different variety. In the second phase,
David, I think Rick in Canada wants to say something.
Excuse me, do you want me to show? I'm kind of going backwards now, but I skipped a part because we jumped forward. So do you want me to go back to a certain point in your presentation, or should just continue?
Just go back up. The way you're going is perfect, Rick.
Okay. Well,
it's okay. We come back to the same circle.
Thank you.
Keep going back up the way you're going.
So you go back up. I can talk about here. Okay, right here. These are the second phase of my growing. These ones you see in the left side is because I am planting by month. What I say, every month I'm putting seeds to see which ones in which month they produce the most. Those ones, you see the tallest ones, those were the after I did the harvest of my first cycle of the
ones we see in the background, the tallest one.
The color ones. And that was the second spot that I planted. Behind this, next month I planted the ones you see in the left corner. Now in the other ones, those are these ones, the tallest one were planted at the same time that the tallest one that you see in every picture. They were planted the same date. These were planted a month later. And in that way, I could see in different areas the different characteristics. They will show here the same thing that they show there, because every time that I planted, I threw the nanomaterials in the ground, and I put the microorganisms with the seed and the guns. One spray only in the seed at the moment of planting. And after that was only irrigation with the water that I have there.
You don't fertilize the seeds anymore.
I don't
just the first time. You don't use any fertilizer at all?
No, I don't use any fertilizers. Like I said, right there is just what the conditions of the ground have. And I just water them. And whatever bushes I cut, I just put it in the ground, just to create some more organic matter. And one of my mistakes that I lose so many of those plants that could grow thicker and more produce was that I didn't do what the adding of the ground because they develop some kind of branches that they hold into the ground for the plants not to be swayed back and forth, not to be thrown by the wind. Some of them, they will develop these branches that they throw. They throw a branch, it goes to the ground and penetrates the ground, and that's how the plant holds itself to the ground. I didn't give that kind of protection to these plants, and some of them, they fell. Just with any wind, it would throw them down, That was part of my learning. But in my next phase, I'm giving more space of separation to the same kind of varieties and watch this time the results. But I did learn because all these things I start observing, I started saying, okay, now I'm getting this. I want to see if this repeats again in my next experiment. The ones that are behind the next month, the month before, And I'm recording. It's an ongoing research that I'm doing at the moment with the observations and taking the data collection that I'm doing.
Can I ask you a question? I've seen your things, and what I tell you, I've thought about it very carefully, what I'm putting to you. Would you like to take the flagship of the agriculture and work with the other people who want to grow material around the foundation with us?
Well, first, that's I'm doing this. First, that's what I'm collaborating with this information. That's the reason I was trying to get more tips from you. And if a project will come, I'll be willing to be part of it.
Yeah, because the foundation, Rick can tell you more about the community we're setting up. Would you like to explain that, Rick? That how they work in the community? Maybe we can set up the agriculture community that they can work, and David can be part of the heading that side.
Oh, sure, yes. We have a groups setting in the community.keshfoundation.org new website. And there's other ways that people can communicate as well. You can have movies that are easily accessible and other information. And then also you can have the people that you want to work with more closely can be part of certain groups that have, it's more of a private group rather than everybody in the public there. So it'll be a great area for community and for building up community within the Kesh family, Kesh Foundation family. So yeah, we'll have that underway over the next week or two. It'll be more and more populated, and you're going to find, I really like it there. I think it's a great format for people. So major problem here. Let me see
what's the major problem.
Just interference on the Enrique. I'm going to mute you, Enrique.
Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Oh, sorry, there's just some interference there from some microphones, so I had to mute it. There we go.
Okay.
All right, like I said, I'm continuing with the observing my next phase, of where I want to be creating different conditions this time. This time, like I said, one of the things, because now with the water units creating, I want a self-watering system, that I don't have to put the water, like the idea of the loops with the dripping the water in the garden, I was trying in my mesh. There is a photo over there where there are some PVC pipes in the ground where I'm growing this. I'm putting this mesh, but I was thinking putting the waters. Now I wanted to put in that mesh those wires, nanocoatings, to see if those will be a self-watering system that it will give water to the plants too, in case that I don't, create more water for the plants. I was trying to add that info into my research, you know. Start doing a lot of infinite loops and start putting across my the areas where the corn is growing and see how they do, you know. That was part, but the one I'm really activating, this were one of the organic basket that I grew, the broccoli and I was selling for people. And their lettuce will last outside even for days without wither. You know, they will still stay strong. And those will last longer just with the effects.
Have you consumed these?
Yeah, all these were consumed. You know, I sold them in the city. I have a lot of seeds that I harvest from the cauliflower, and from this I have a bank of seeds. All these lettuce that you see, I harvest almost 3 kilos of seeds from just lettuce from the ones that I grew. You know,
Is that a normal harvesting value, or is it something?
Well, for me, it was the first trial. I didn't know, you know, who harvests seeds. You know, I don't have the data of how many, you know, pounds they collect when they do the harvest. I just did let go some of this to seed and harvest seeds. You know, that was the purpose, creating a seed bank with this technology, and keep the seed apart from others and give it to friends that are working in their own house gardens to use those seeds and to see what they observe. You know, I'm trying just getting a recollection of every seed that I have. I'm selecting them that they were grown with this, you know, materials. And keep.
What we noticed is that when you grow seeds in the pot, than when you grow the seeds in the ground using the GANs, is totally two different behaviors. Do you see the same?
Well, because I always grow in the ground, and I wasn't growing in pots, you know, like other people in their houses. The setup right now is to be grown in an open field, you know, situation, not in the community garden where people just bring buckets and grow everything in buckets because of the space, or hanging baskets, you know. I haven't done those experiments if they behave the same or not. But these broccolis, they grow so big. Here's one of the way how I did the soaking. I got the seeds and put it in this double wall container with the GANs of CO2, copper oxide, and CH3, and the amino acid waters that I mix into the container. And that has been my device for soaking seeds. Other than, yes, I put them some on GANs. And CO2, here I'm spraying a mixture of CH3 GANs and CO GANs, copper oxide GANs. This time, just in case that I want to protect some plagues, some fungus or whatever, I'm putting this together to a mixture of the microorganisms here in this, spraying the two together to create a synergy to help the plants, you know. And that's what I was trying to, you know, for the just for the lettuce. I haven't done any, like you say, just to put the thing from the copper things will have the land too, you know. I want to be trying to use the spraying with the water containing these things, you know. And that will be part of the third.
Do you see the duration of soaking having an effect on the seed growth or mutation of the seed as we have?
Well, I observed the mutations of those plants because, I mean, for me, it was new because this is where seeds from, I didn't have the experience of those seeds as a trial because these were new for this area. We never grow these seeds here in this area. For me, the mission was to see if those seeds will grow here and adapt them. And I did harvest, 9 varieties of these seeds that you see there. These were the originals given to me. And I put, different plants because I didn't have so many seeds. I have to be selected in my areas where I was growing those testing plots. And from those plants, those are the ones that I harvest the seeds, and I now have in the background in another spot growing them. They are already 1 foot high right now at this point. They're already growing. Now they're waiting for next week to start just giving the first prepping for the water, giving some ground for them to be stronger. I know they are going to be stronger this time with better conditions. I want to harvest more seeds, but I will have already a seed that already grew in my land, and it's going to be growing the second time with the.
Those are familiar containers and colors in the background.
Yeah.
Red and brown and
Yes,
okay.
This is my germinating bed in the back in the left side.
Are there any questions on the people on the panel you want to ask?
Yes, Mr. Keshe. Enrique Santoyo. I would like to tell you that David is a great man, and he is part of the group of agriculture and gardening in the group of Latin America. He has joined us. There's a group that's growing. It's about 8 to 10 people by now. And they are in different parts of Mexico with different environments and different approaches. And we plan to have an interchange and learn from him. He's really a wise man in this.
So Mexico Cash Foundation is becoming agricultural one. I think because we got to link you up with the Chinese.
Okay.
Somehow in the community room we have to bring you a lot because you're both sides very adventurous.
But we do need the collaboration of different areas of Mexico because I'm just in a region that is completely different conditions to another regions. We need to gather info in different spots.
Locations around the world we have to. It's part of
the country of Mexico too. Because everything will have different things. Some areas will have too much water.
It's not just Mexico. We have people from Chile. And we have people from Colombia also interested in the...
Strange, Colombia Cash Foundation is becoming very, very prominent. Yeah, very active. I've seen them around. Colombians are becoming active.
Yeah. Our next presentation will be with Sergio from Colombia, the director of the group. And it's also about, it's simpler. It's about making GANs for agriculture also. Yes, Colombia is...
Does any of the groups of the people who are using this material report any anomalies, anything different in the consumption or in behavior? Or is it part of the natural process we see?
Okay, we will watch for that. We will.
You have to ask because because we are not getting anything at the moment out of the Chinese agriculture side. Hopefully they'll come with us and explain to us more. But as you have more direct groups in 3 or 4 Latin Americans, cash foundations, if you can give us an overall look of how is the health of the people, because you lot have started consuming, so you have passed the border of any what I call nonsense which has been spreading around. So what will be interesting is to see, my God, these are bushes more than trees.
Those are the ones that are growing with the nanomaterials, right?
Yeah. What will be interesting to see is if Latin America can teach us, at least explain to us, do we see by the consumption of these materials, like you said, your health, you don't catch cold or whatever, do we see psychological changes? Do we see physical changes in health? Do we see changes in the skin? Do we see changes in diet, habit of eating? Like you said, you eat less. We got to expand this now that you lot are involved, because agriculture side is one of the major parts of the whole operation of the application of the GANs.
There's a question here about pests as well on the live stream. How does the GANs affect pests? Is there any data on that?
Are you using any pesticides?
No.
Have you seen any difference in the use of pesticides?
My idea here was to use the copper guns, you know, as a way to control any situation like that. And if the plant is having the strong forces in field, the plant won't create the condition for the insects to come and try to eat them, you know. It will be strong, it will repel the plants.
Yeah, but what I see on the left-hand picture on this, maybe it's the wrong picture, but we see leaves with a lot of holes in it at the bottom.
Oh no! This is one of the plants that is growing, and there was already harvest. And when you harvest, you cut a lot of leaves when you are cutting the peppers. Sometimes they thin themselves and they throw new flowers. Every time that you cut more, they grow more.
No, but we see holes and patches on the leaves at the bottom.
In between here, in
on
the
the
left-hand
picture, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the plants that. No, these are like grass. Sometimes it was grass grown in between, and this plant wasn't developing. Just remember, this picture is from the 2014. It's not the one in the cycle of 2015. Those are more lush, more huge. They are bigger than these ones that you see here on the right side. That I was showing over there, how I lost 5% of those plants that were growing here, and these were the ones they got frost. Now they are not the ones that I have right now. Those are huge now. This bigger than this.
I think what I'm going to tell you, shouldn't be surprising. Can you give us some new pictures that come back next week?
Yeah, I can go and do a carpet of all the
carpet of things that we see.
You see,
and you can do what I call quick call around among the peoples. You say there are a number of people in Latin America who are using the GANs technology for food and harvesting to see if we see any anomalies in behavior, in food, in physical structure of the people, because you're consuming it. This was scaremongering we saw a lot of time with the Keshe Foundation, and with what you just stated, that's buried. There is no way, there is no room, because already in circulation, people are eating it, people are there. So we have to see a natural process, not a controlled process as it's done.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I didn't apply the materials, the GANs per se, but you say they already created in the ground by themselves. You know, when the only fact of trying the materials. But in my next ongoing experiments, instead of put only nanocoated wire, I put aside a regular wire that is not nanocoated to see if that would create conditions for those areas too. I mean, doing those little additions in plants, like the one that he passed right now. I did the around the little PVC pipe that I have with the GANs inside. I put some of them salt water with the reactor, like the same thing we do in the bottles when we do the CO2 capture. I put things like that in some plants to see what will happen. If the GANs will still be creators inside the hose, you know. I mean, things like that, you know. It's a reactor for the plant already.
There's a question from Emmanuel about magnesium. It's useful for many plants. Have you tried to use magnesium GANs of any kind?
I was thinking in my next experiment, start working with magnesium and doing the bones burning, you know, to create the GANs, and then start feeding the plants with those kind of GANs. That will be more fertilizers, you know. But my idea was also not to inject.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you for one reason. Maybe we go for people to understand why you use magnesium. why we use chlorine, why we use sodium. Just look at the atomic structures of sodium and magnesium and atomic structure of a chlor and aluminium. And then you'll find out that the same as we had with nitrogen, with the two sides of the carbon and oxygen in the upper atmosphere, in the Earth's physical structure, sodium, magnesium, and aluminium play the same kind of ratio. That's why when we have a heavier metal like iron, we create blood. But when we have the magnesium in the structure with the same sodium, we create chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe adding to the knowledge shows how the creation of the life on this planet has divided itself. Amino acid as common ground, heavier elements in the metal bracket, gravitational magnetic field of the living things of the intellect, what we call the horizontal people, with the iron, and the ones which set in the magnesium spectrum. If you look, the ratio of the magnesium to sodium and aluminium is very much the same as what do you call it, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Then this will explain how, in a way, the vegetables and what they call the verticals and horizontals have differed. We still use the same protein connection, but in one we use magnesium as a cover, in the other one we use iron as cover. Is the change, and that higher strength has given higher energy to the amino acid to create what they call the blood cycles, moving animals. In the one which is with a smaller strength, which a lesser gravitational magnetic mass, which is magnesium in the center of, is created the vertical people. If scientists understand the difference between these two, can we create vertical creations that will have the life of, and they'll change into horizontal people? It's a very big question mark. And can we have somebody in the intermediary between 20 and 60? Our carbon, magnesium sits around about 24 if I'm correct. And iron sits at 56. Is there interim somewhere here, a structure of life which we have missed? Or is it the white meat? Is it the fish life? This is part that we have to understand. Thank you very much, David, for your teaching.
Thank you.
Have enlightened us a lot. We'll see you next week.
Mr. There is a question about structured water. If David could explain what he calls structured water, he told me, but I saw some questions in the screen.
The structured water, yes, explain please, and then we go on the other side.
All right, the structured water, that's a new idea that have come with Victor Schwaberger from Germany, where they use the vortex flow of the water. When the water goes through vortices, it changes the inside structure. Now, if we understand that in the moment that the reactor spins and throws away the outside particles, it's almost a centrifuging the thing. And all elements go to the outside. In that reactor, what we'll do, the gas will stay in certain bands, you know. The structured water will do the same with the chemicals. It will throw them out to the water. at the atomic level. That's what they call a structure. In the water, instead to be in long chains of molecules, it will make small structures to the process of the vortexes. That's the reason I came with the thing. If I put the reactor formation in a PVC pipe and run the water through them with the guns, it's going to be a way of structuring and gasifying the water that will go and fertilize the ground. And that's my next device that I'm developing. I'm putting a different combination between guns and not the regular guns that we have, but guns of different fertilizers that will be imbue the frequency in the water field, you know. But devices already exist in the market, and that they do this effect, you know, they structure the water, energize the water, and they really decontaminate the water to the process of the vortex. And that's one of the devices from a person from Arizona. His name is Clayton Nolte. He manufactured those devices, and I've been working with these devices in my lab too. This might be part also of some adding that I'm doing in the research. Now I want to see if the guns, just doing the ping pong balls with those, will do an effect of also structuring water and energizing water in the process. You know, it's part of the experimental understanding that get to have a different twist to what I'm doing, because I'm doing structural water research too, part of my work, you know. And I drink the water like structure, you know.
And do you see any difference in drinking?
I mean,
do you feel any different?
I mean, yes, you start feeling that you get more hydration. You get more energy. You get, I mean, I never.
Can I ask you, talking about a structured water with GANs? Are we talking about, or with the system you have?
I mean, with the system I'm using, I'm not on this, but now that I'm proposing the idea of using the same idea with the star chip formation and run water through them, and let that water go and irrigate the plants. That's a new twist of putting the guns in.
No, what I was asking, you said you consume the structured water.
I mean, the water that I'm structuring, yeah, I drink through these devices that I'm using.
Yeah, but do they contain GANs or nanomaterials?
No, they don't contain. They have a patent technology inside, but they use similar to flow pieces. They will be similar to ping pong balls, but he has a patent on those, and I'm working, you know, in his technology in the research too. And that structures the water, but that devices that these are used in the market. There are a few people, you know, using these devices, and they see an effect in the water. Of changing, and also, you know, developing some growths in plants. I'm watching, you know, both things, you know, here, because that's my field was already set up with this device, growing there. And I'm trying to see, you know, observe exactly what is the effect with this device too, you know, and just separate fields, just using the guns instead of use the water with this structured device that comes to my land.
Okay, thank you very much, because we have a time limit there and we're nearly 1 o'clock. We've got a couple of other people participating.
All right.
Could you please join us next week and enlighten us, and we learn?
Sure, I will give a report.
Without food, there'll be no humanity. So you're the source of it, and you're teaching us how you feed.
I will give a report of the developing of what you saw, the pictures, to see how they develop, and get a more focused photos of those, you know, and give you a better, you know,
yeah, try to find out, as we discussed, the mood of people. How do they feel when they eat the food? This is important, because we want to see now What is the consumption? What does
Yes,
it bring?
I didn't want to share those foods to eat. They were foods for research this time, you know, because I want to keep
Yeah,
those.
but now you crossed the line. So
yeah, I treated to make some tamales like we used in Mexico. We used to make tamales, you know, in tortilla. We have to put some corn tortillas a la queche, you know. That's the newest.
Nice having you. Thank you very much, Eddie. Thank you very much for the Mexican group. Thank you very much. Do we have Sohail anywhere online? Do we see him or he's not there?
Hello?
Who's that?
Ah, you can hear me. It's Marley. It works.
Hi, Marie. Alas, we got you. You have a nice voice. You're welcome. We've seen your videos. We've seen the video you made. Could you enlighten us?
You've enlightened me all this time. I'm a little bit tired. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. But I don't want to jump in. I know there's others.
No. We want you to jump in. That's why we invited you. The young generation is the backbone of the foundation work. So you bring a fresh, what I call life to us, and we'll see. We are a bunch of old men and practical people. We're going to see what the new generation sees. Your video is totally different than what we see. We see very harsh pictures and presentations. You brought us a different kind of looking at things. We need more young people to come up. I've got a couple of young people in the background who are in like you. Explain to us what you've seen and how you came to it.
Okay. Before, unfortunately, I'm having technical issues, and I'm sure it's the energy. Everything always seems to be in synchronicity with whatever. But I've been trying to put a lot of things together, and so I've had every kind of issue. But my battery on my phone, even though it's plugged into the wall, it's only got 4% left. So I will share what I can with you. I just want to tell you all thank you, and the support from every single one of these brilliant scientists and people that are venturing in. I'm just so touched, and I just want to say thank you publicly, because I haven't really ever found a group like this, and I'm quite surprised that I found it in a group of science. I love science, but I'm more started my journey in, well, I've always been a spiritual person, and I was raised in a very strict religious background, but I've always hungered for knowledge, and it's just been, I reached the top where I couldn't find the answers anymore in that system, and so I did leave, and it's been a little bit rocky road to leave your whole family and go be the black sheep, is what they call me. So
Let me explain your background if you want to explain it, or you want to keep it separate.
Well, I was born LDS Mormon, which is I consider it my foundation and my kindergarten, and I don't want to say that in a way that it would devastate my family to hear me say that. So I don't want to go too much in that, because I do honor.
No, we respect that. I know. It's just that we wanted to know what your background is. We understand the situation where you stand. How did you come across the work we do, and how have you applied it?
I'm sorry, how did I come across what?
How you came across the work of the Keshe Foundation, and how did you apply it, please?
All about synchronicity. I work with spirit, and in a way in which I can just ask, and it leads me to the next thing.
Can you freeze the picture there, please, Rick? Don't stop it there. Yeah, carry on. Carry on, please.
Okay. That night, I had created the GANs that day. I was so excited to see it. When I started my journey into this technology, I knew immediately that the things that I was learning through this was exactly the same things that I learned in 5 years of different types of studies in ministry schools and things, but learning about the science of creation. And this happened to line exactly right up with it. And so I knew that this was life when I saw it, and I was intrigued immediately. So when I finally got to the point, and believe me, it took me a while to prepare and get my life in order to the point where I would allow myself to take that first step to even nano code. And so because I'm more of like a whole brain thinker or visionary, the left brain part, you know, the step by step with the concepts and things, I'd never really paid much attention to that. But what I wanted was to find the answers for people, because I taught spiritually for a long time in different ways. Even as a personal trainer, I tried to bring that into that and teach them about their bodies and how their bodies were holding back results and things from their emotional systems and things like that. So anyway, coming back to the plasma, the GANs, this is an answer. This is an answer to finally help people because it was a little bit too hard for them to grasp, and so I wanted something material, something physical that could bring the answer to the pain and all of the cries for, of people starving and people, the war, and I know that light is in every soul, that we are all connected. Is what I believe. And so the night I'm sitting there, and I'd been adoring it all day anyway, and put it in this beautiful bottle that I went and bought just for it. And anyway, I work grave nights at
This is a GANS you're talking about.
Yes.
In the bottle.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now, and I'm thinking about how that happened. And the thing is it happened by itself. I just was sitting on the couch, and it was on the table. There was a light on in the room, but it was a dim room. You can tell there. As it just caught my attention, obviously, because it was like glowing. And I always just see, like when I see something, I feel it. I can feel it within my own self. And so as I gazed at it, it almost seemed like it was growing. And so I wanted to take a picture of it, and I did, and it didn't look exactly like I wanted, like what I could see. So I came in closer, and the closer I got, I noticed this blue light just shooting right out the bottom, and that caught my attention immediately. I just was with it. And when I was asked to conceptualize it, I realized that I lost that feeling. And so what I've come to understand for myself about that is that it's almost like the key to consciousness for me is to actually not conceptualize it, but to lose the concept and become one with it. And then you feel it in yourself, and you're a part of it. And it just seemed to like I can look at clouds, and they do that sometimes, or into crystals, and they'll be cloudy and you can't see anything in it, but then suddenly it starts to open up, and you can just connect to that energy. And so I just feel like that's how that experience felt for me, and it was very peaceful and spiritual.
Do you see the light? Have you managed to repeat the light, what you photographed?
Yes, I did, but not in the same circumstance. I had to, I got a flashlight. And see, this is when I started getting into more of the concepts and, well, how did that happen, and recreating it. And it wasn't the same as that, but it was similar, because the light didn't grow from it's not, I feel like the GANs absorbed the light that was in the room, and the light that it is in you or me, and can feel that and connect in, because that's plasma, it's a living essence. I'm sure, I mean, so I just am loving the way that this research and experiment is actually connecting to the very things that teach me about myself and my creator. And the closer I get to it, electrons and things like that are symbols to me of the planets and the sun and what we're from and made of. So when I'm trying to explain this to people, my friends and people in my circles, they at first, they really just, it was not falling on deaf ears. People didn't really understand what I was talking about. But when I bring up, free renewable energy, something that you don't have to plug into the grid for eventually, it's like, it's the next step, it's the shift, and everything is definitely showing up to begin to wake them up a little bit there's something that they can also do about it, and their health. I'm really excited to try the health needles on a friend.
I know some people told you this is the reflection of the light from bottom of the glass. Do you know where you see the light? Do you see it at the bottom of the glass, or do you see it at the water level between the GANs and the water?
I felt the light, and I mean, I can't say that the light, it was like, it was as though sun was shining, if you were above the clouds and the sun was shining down into the clouds. That's how it looked, and it looked like, it was so fluffy, and still it was like moving in its own. It wasn't moving, but it was not flat. Like right now, it's all condensed, kind of down in the bottom,
Can you expand on this to develop it further, to see if you can carry on repeating, making light through these cups?
I guess so, but it feels like when I try to conceptualize it, when I try to put an agenda on it, that it's more difficult. I've realized that the past few days as I've been trying to pull things together instead of taking the process bit by bit and letting it teach me as I go. Then it seems to sort of move out of that experience. And I found a great teacher that I'd studied with, says, let's see, I'd like to read something what he said about that process of what it is when that's what I love, is when I have a question, I'll just be led right to it. And so even the troubles like I had tonight, connecting and realize, just relax and let the flow happen, and it will all happen. Perfect flow. But I think misplaced it because I could just kind of talk here with the. Do you mind if I read just the paragraph?
Go ahead.
As in what I've given about essence of consciousness is the key to everything, the key and its application. It really sounds simple, but it's not as simple as it sounds. You have to abolish every concept of it. That includes the concept as essence. You merely use the highest form of concept we have to approach the point of non-concept. there is only one book. Oh no, let's do this. We'll go there, but and that made sense to me because that was sort of what my experience was from the experience of it, and then needing to explain it because I don't come from the scientific background to be able to have the conceptualization of the experience. Now, I do have the ability that after meditations and things, something that I never understood, but I began to see bright blue light, like indigo light on every edge and side of every single material thing. So it's not like an aura. And then on the other side, it was bright goldish red. And it was troublesome for a while because it was really messing up my eyesight and being able to.
Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Yes, I hope my thing's not dying.
No, it's just the noise fading.
Mr. Cash?
Okay,
Yeah.
Sure.
I think Rick is having problems with live stream, so can we just hold on a moment?
Pardon?
I think Rick is having a problem with live stream. Can we just hold on a moment, please?
Yeah. Can you hold on? Stop 1 second, please. We just got to see what's the problem. Vince, is that the reason for it? What we were discussing yesterday?
Are you talking?
No. Stay there,
No,
please.
I don't think so. He just said live stream just died, so I think he just
Died?
a system issue. So just give him a moment and let him come back.
Okay. You just got to wait. This is Keshe Foundation work. Anything goes wrong, goes wrong. Anything can go wrong, goes wrong. And somehow at the end it works out.
I know. I've never had so many technical difficulties.
No, it's nice to have you, and it's nice to learn, because we get involved in too much materialistic condition. It's good to bring some different dimensions into the teaching, which is mainly the young generation work in that field.
Yeah, but your speech, you speak like this teacher that I'm reading from right now. It's very what you say is like when you might be writing on the board a whole graph of a reactor and setup and things, and you'll say the answer is right here, but you're looking here, but it's all right here. Everything you need to know is right here, and it's like that. I get a lot out of just listening to a little bit of what one of your workshops, and so your wisdom is carried far, and this world is definitely shifting, and it can be really scary, but I think that there are other forces also involved that will be there to assist, and love is what's going to come, from all our hearts, because that's where things sometimes have to get hard before people open up and reach out. But I'm really happy for my opportunity, in this venture, because it's definitely a way that I can serve.
Do you see a way with this that you can expand on the knowledge through spirituality using the process?
Yes, I do. I think that's the reason why, because I started on the other end of it, more in the ethereal world, and learning more about, in the metaphysical types of things, but they were talking about the same things, about the way, just about the way everything's a part of everything, the electrons and atoms and the nucleus of atoms, like the sun, and it's like a microcosm of the macrocosm, and as above, so below, or as, and so those types of things are have always been symbols and signs post kind of along the way as we're evolving beings, and I believe in that we are actually stepping up to the next place. Of not that this is actually like I'm looking forward to this, not for the horrible things. I know that we need a shift, we need something, and so I believe this is the answer, and I know that plasma is the key essence to and crystals. Using those things, types of things together, and learning how to flow that light and our own light connected to, so I'm seeing so many symbols in all of that I've learned in this science, and it's bringing back to me what I believe is the ancient science knowledge that was given long ago. And if we can carry this new wisdom with wisdom, this knowledge with wisdom, not knowledge by itself, it's nothing but with the wisdom, then it is given in a way that will support and let them carry us into our next step. In that way, I'm looking forward to it. I think that good things are happening. So many people are so brilliantly, they're waking up, and it's like this download of information is just our minds, our brains are smarter, more brilliant, catching on to things, and being able to harness, energy just from the plants and the earth and the sun instead of like consuming and digging, killing the forest and all of that, So we all already know all that, and that's what we're doing here. And I'm just really happy to meet this family of scientists. That I'm part of a group that Mike Nash has started called How to Create Your Own Energy in Your Home, and he's kind of giving me the reins a little bit to help people, which I'm really surprised I can answer some questions correctly about certain processes. But I'm always using like Nanotechnology, Nanotechnology. He's a great guy, and he makes some slideshows, just caustic sodas, ways to make specific things. And now we're learning specifics, like, I'd like you to maybe, if you could, there's trying to explain a little bit about the blood and the drops of blood, because I was hesitant to do that process, and I was going fast and prepare myself, but I accidentally cut my finger while I was doing something on the metal, so I went ahead and hurried and made the caustic with some herbs and things that were healing. But then I learned that I really felt this anyway, that I would just be using it for myself, because we haven't had it. But what's your input on that? Remember you talking about that once before, right? Mr. Cash? Hello? I don't know. Oh.
Yeah,
Are you there? Are you there?
You're still there.
Oh my gosh, I hear him. Oh, this will be weird. I can hear myself. Okay, there we go. Are you listening? Hello?
Everything seems to be fine. I don't know why they're not coming through.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah,
I hear you. I can hear Mr. Cash. You're not interested. Well, anyway, I do trust in this process.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I back? Yeah, something happened. Somebody kicked me out of the system. I'm trying to get back in. is normal. In our teachings, this is absolutely normal. Has Rick got his thing sorted out with live stream? Vince?
When you went off, nobody came back on. I jumped in here, Mr. Cash, to keep the
Sorry, I'm here in the background. I'm trying to work with my system to get Rick back on. So just give me a couple more moments here. Sorry.
Have we lost the live stream, or is it still on?
No, Rick has to restart. So I think he's coming back on now.
Something wrong with this computer. It's updating in the middle of the program.
It looks like he's back. So Rick, are you there?
Just wait. These sessions are nearly 4 or 5 hours long, so things can be expected. We can hear you.
Wait a minute, I'm not getting my headphone. How come? Okay, that's I'm on the right wrong.
Hi, Rick. We can hear you.
My audio and this computer, I'm hearing it through the other one here. Okay, now I've got it. You can turn that one off now. Okay.
You're back?
We're back, yes, we are.
What happened to you?
I'm not sure. I lost the live stream first. It went down, and then I couldn't control the Zoom at all. I just had a spinning ball, and I lost all control of my computer.
But are you back on the live stream again?
Not on live stream yet, just on the Zoom here. So I'm just getting set up again. Let me get the live stream going.
Yeah, we're on it. So, anyway, yeah, I think that there's a lot of great things. People are gonna.
She's talking in the background. Somehow we got a. Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, you just got stop 1 second. I'm trying to reset the system.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, you sound better. You better come close to your microphone.
Oh, is that better?
Much better. At least now we can hear you. It was like you're talking to us from down the 20-meter deep water well.
Okay, Rick,
you know what?
Your host again. Can you verify that?
What's the problem?
Verify it. Okay.
No. You stand there. Stand. Wait 1 second. They're trying to sort a technical problem in the background.
I think we're good there, Vince. Let me start the live stream. Okay, we're back again on live stream.
Okay, live stream is back on.
I think we're all good to go.
Okay, all good to go. Okay, we go. Carry on. Come on, darling. You can speak. Hello. Aline, are you there? Hello.
Maybe I have to unmute something.
Yes, she'll be muted again.
She's still here?
She's still there. Does she speak?
Wasn't it under L70 or something?
Yeah.
Don't see any L70s there now.
She was running out of battery.
Right.
Possible that we lost her?
Possibly. Any word there, Vince? Do you have a confirmation of that?
Yeah, it looks like she dropped out, so she probably.
She says she was low in the battery. Okay. Do we see Sohail anywhere? Is he on?
Don't see his name on the list. Don't see his name on the list here.
You don't see him?
No, not in the chat here.
Not in the chat there. Okay, maybe he's somebody can't speak.
He's not saying anything on live stream.
Oh, okay.
We don't hear her. No.
No,
Okay. Can we go to Renan? Renan, are you there? You could add to our knowledge.
Yes, sir. I just want to show some different setups, pictures for the people to test. I'll share screen.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, good day, so good afternoon, good morning, everywhere. So it's still the same. This is the part 4 of my update. Just little update for us to test. So all the warnings there. So we'll be touching about the Nano and GAN's health gadgets. I just call them gadgets, so you can have it in a pack soon. So if we can make a whole pack of it. So never forget to have your pain relief pen. That's our gadget number 1. So everybody knows about it. I hope you have yours at home. And we have our gadget number 2. I've designed the Nano Health Wire Helmet. So it's a 18 counterclockwise coiled Nano Health Wire positioned in 3 layers. The outer layer is 9, 6, and 3 inner layer. So for application testing for brain and nerve processing, autism, MS, and paralysis. So materials needed, any helmet, a styrofoam material, so we can easily make holes. Nano Health Wire coils and tubes, and some adhesive tapes. So it looks like this. You can buy this in any kid store or any store. So I just made holes, drill holes on the helmets and put coils. So you can see that outer coil, there are 9 layers, 9 units of Nano Health wires, and there's another 6 units of Nano Health wires in the middle layer, and there's a star formation, 3 layers, 3 units in the inner core. So this assessment, you can just simply use this as this, where that's my kid. And also we have gadget number 3, the Nano Health Wire Belt by Andy Rose. I haven't presented this yet, so thanks to Andy Rose, he had prepared this presentation. So I asked permission to him to present this. It's a 55 pointed Nano Health Wire positioned and spaced accordingly on a belt strap setting. So for paralysis, weights to hips processing, materials needed, you need a foam, Velcro strap, pointed Nano Health wires, or you can use coiled, flat coils, adhesive tapes. So he has the diagrams here. This is the view of the fields, directions of the flow. The top view, you flat it out. There's a different points. And here is the top view of the fields. And we have step 1. You need just to cut and bend the wires as we used to. So it depends upon what wires you want to use. Maybe the only pointed one. Here, Andy used the pointed ones with a little bit coil in the end. And then he gently pushed the wires into the foam. Next is he make sure the correct spacing is made, what you have drawn in the diagram. So you position it out. So you gently push the wire into the foam. So you remove the tape. As you can see, you remove the tape and the Velcro. Both covers the wire and makes it easy to use. And simply you have this belt. So pat yourself at the back for doing such a great job for doing this belt. And you can apply this, and Andy Rose updated me that he gave this to an acupuncturist near his house, and they're getting good results. They're processing some of their patients instead of hours in acupuncture. They just process it in 7 minutes, 5 minutes. The different back pains are gone. And you need
I should say all these wires have been nano-coated.
Yes. All the nano-coated health wires.
Yeah, because it showed copper wires only.
Oh, yes. Okay. So gadget number 4, this was shared by Stefano Baldas. So he was making a GANS patch. So it's a very simple, it's like a Band-Aid modification using dried CO2 and CH3 gases as the field reacting agent. So the applications for testing are burn wounds, open burns or open wounds, energize the emotional part. So we need dry gases of CO2 and CH3, nano health wire, the flat coils, adhesive tapes, and band-aids or patches, or just practically the tapes. So this is the principle. The principle for this patch is when you place the fields of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in a plasmatic form, they link with our main reactor, which is our brain. So it goes all through the body as it needs by demand, because the brain distributes it directly through the link in the nose, which is connected with the emotional part of the body. So this is one way that Stefano suggested how to use this patch. But we can, how to make it, just simple, just get a Band-Aid or any tape, cut a tape as large as same as the nose, or it just depends on how long do your tape have. Cut another strip a little bigger. So maybe this one, you're gonna cut this strip of this to overlap this portion. Then apply on the first tape, strip a few dried GANs over its length on the sticky side. So this is the sticky area, and you can find here there's in the area with that foam, so you can put dried GANs here. And next, if you don't have any Band-Aid, you can use any electrical tapes or tapes that you can use. Simple options. The sticky side, and you put dry GANs, can be as well. But other options, you can also use the coils. You can make tiny coils, counterclockwise coils, or the two coils, counterclockwise and counterclockwise coils, put it in this space. And then you close it. So closing, putting the longer piece over the shorter piece of the tape, putting the two sticky side in touch. So you cover it. So you have no more exposure of the nanomaterial or the GANs in this stage, and you can apply it over the nose or the area that needs to be processed. So if you don't have any those, you can use a simple tape as that. So this same method can be used to heal wounds, putting it between the two strips as a spiral nano-coated copper alone with, or dry GANs with spiral nano-coated copper. So maybe it can be more effective directly over the wound. So obviously you need to do the tape as to be proportional to the wound. So if bigger wounds, make it bigger patches, smaller wounds, smaller patches, and smaller coils. And gadget number 5, never forget to have your health cups, GANs, and nano health wire cups. So we know that health cups are basic for energizing the air inhale and the water to drink. So application energizes our emotional and physical part of our body. So materials needed, you have your energized CO2 GANs, how you made your CO2s energized with different fruits or vegetables or minerals, and you make paste of it or liquid state, and the flat coils. Also we use adhesive tapes and plastic tubes. So I've showed this already to you, but here is the structure of it. So you can see we can add the coils so that we can contain the fields inside. You have here, if you want any fruits, vegetables, anything, in your cup. And this is a double-walled cup, as you can see. And there's in the inside, in between the double wall and the outer wall, you put your CO2 GANs as your base GANs. It depends how do you make your base GANs. Energized GANs, maybe you have already put all the fruits that you want there in your GANs, recorded all the information already during your GANs, CO2 GANs harvesting. So, do you ever mix your blood?
I'm gonna stop you there. I see you put. You're just gonna go on it. It says your blood, emotion, and the skin in the tube. When you put this on your container or your cup, it only absorbs within the water what you need. It's personalized. What your structure needs, emotionally and physically. So when you add the blood, you specify a specific person. You individualize it, customize it to your to you. This is what you have to be careful. If you use the blood of anything else, you cannot give it to somebody else to drink it.
Yes.
Okay.
Plastic cup.
I've seen this done. Yeah.
Preferably for 1 cup per person. So personal use, especially when you use your own blood. Never, also a warning, never mix the blood or skin in any amino acid to the ganses and water. It should be in a separate bottle. So only the fields of it will be connected. And last but not least, all the GANS health tubes. So you have seen this already. Many people have made bracelets already with this. It's the same use, energizes the emotional part and the physical part. So you can see it here, what are the needed. So basically, it's the CO2 GANS bracelet with coils. I just added counterclockwise coils inside. Just not only pure GANS, but also coils to help energize with nanomaterials. And just that's my update for now for Foundation Philippines about health and nano and GANS applications. And we are already in production next week on the pen leaf pens. So hopefully we'll be having different models, maybe for the ones we will be distributing for free, and we'll be also making the ones that will be sold soon.
So are you going to production with the energy unit next week as well, as you told us?
Yes, the energy units right now are already properly estimated and cost. We have already computed it, sir, and the manufacturer is right now doing the prototype of the whole unit. So they're designing the prototype right now with all the casings and all the switches. And everything. So hopefully by Saturday we can meet and we will see the finished prototype product.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you very much indeed. There is something I have to mention, that we have come to an agreement that all the cash foundations around the world will price the energy units and all the units at the same price. That we don't push somebody somewhere else or try to create a competition. We look at the overall principal objectives of the Keshe Foundation, which is to not to give to those who have. We have a point that we can change the course by, in what people pay, we can supply, give to those who don't have. So the price, you might say it might cost $20, but you're charging us $100. The difference is the free units and the units which go to be given to those who can't afford that $20. So we hopefully don't hear those who cry they're taking money for nothing. We will be very transparent. All the figures will be available from every cash foundation around the world. So we charge you 10 times more. We give those to those who don't have in different part of the world and different part of the country, for the distribution of the energy and other systems. Don't forget, never look at when you're happy and you're healthy. Time comes that you need help, and the Keshe Foundation as a family is there to help. So we have to organize ourselves, and we are organizing ourselves that we deliver the system unified price across the planet. At the same time, we close the gap enough that we don't allow others to come to destroy the technology for different aspects for their own use. Is the logo of the Keshe Foundation SSI, the blue logo which we used on all the products. This is our logo, and we use it that way. So wherever you see the sign of SSI with the KF, means you can trust the work, because it's done by mankind, by humanity, for humanity. So do we have Ali on the phone? Do you want to enlighten us more with what you were telling us last? Thank you very much, Renan. We'll speak tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Is Ali anywhere around that we can be enlightened with his work? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, I'm listening.
you're wanting to have
Ali was supposed to be on to
Ali.
carry on with what he was teaching us.
Okay, let me unmute him. Let's see if we can get him in. Ali, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Hello. Now we are listening. Enlighten us.
About what you need information for the lighting?
We are not information gatherers. We are getting taught. Teach us like a teacher.
I want to speak a little bit today about on machine. Oh, sorry, on the craft for construction for the body, because when we're coming in deep space, we will have a huge, very strong magnetic fields. They will like we in magnetic fields pool. There's magnetic fields everywhere. So because of this, we must.
Are you sharing camera with us or not? Are you showing us anything?
You must give me 1 minute, because here in Cyprus we have nearly 46 centigrade. It's very hot, and I know I'm naked. I've got to put one shirt on me, then I'm open camera.
Okay, no problem. Would you like to export some of the heat?
Yes, Houston, you can hear me? This is good.
Vancouver is open, yeah.
I think I could top my camera.
Oh, he has a haircut and the mustache is gone.
Thank you very much. Welcome to everybody. So, when we're diving in deep space with our small submarine, I'm calling this like submarine because we put it in there, we must carry with us oxygen. We must create our environment for the breathe and to take energy at the same time. I was saying, Mr. Cash.
Can I, before you go in that section, we stopped somewhere last week, which we would like to know more, because you sound to be able to explain to us. When you created the environment, when you were in it with your cousin and the military officer.
Yes.
Can you explain to us more in detail how you manage to communicate? Is the voice the same? Is the sound the same?
Between us, you mean?
Yes.
No, it's exactly completely different, because you emotionally you want to change. You sometimes I think I've got to become mental person, but sometimes even can I hear them before they speak? Like in my brain. And after all again happened to me this when it was I'm sitting next to one person, And he said me something, I'm turned, but again, biophysically, he start to talk the same words. We come like echo. So, but how happened this? I don't know. Because of that, now in some period of times, I'm using I'm going doctor for this, and the doctor give me omega-3, omega-6, and he give me advice I must using a lot of olive oil, because he said me my nervous system has happened something.
So in a way, you can hear the thinking before it becomes physicality motion.
But this is, I think, 2 or 3 times happened in this craft. Not a lot, not too much, because I'm flying only 4 times with this. I didn't fly and continue because it's 4th time.
You use the term fly. Explain to us what do you mean. Did you take off? Did you hover? Did you go somewhere?
When we lift first time, we decide coming for 1,000 feet. We're closing everything. We're switching on the atmosphere. We're giving a pressure atmospheres in the room. Okay, it's not room. It's a craft.
No. Stop. What do you mean you change the atmosphere? You close the room?
I mean, is reality. We don't know what waiting us. Because first time we have experiment, and everybody's, and it was this officer, it was his pilot, fighter pilot, and even we get it on our back, like who's he was moving with the diving the seat, which has oxygen tube. We're taking the case. We don't know what's waiting us.
So instead of going in your submarine down, you went up 1,000 feet.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we created we don't need to put the oxygen mask or something. We breathe normally, like in submarine. So anyway, 4th time after when I decided to, because we found a lot of hole on our after 3rd flying. I found this very small blackish, but I think this is hole, because what I built on the craft, outside of around the craft, where like a small blackish, like you keeping like a fire torch on, like that. And I think because at the same time it start to, I see 2-3 times this flash in my eyes when we're coming in.
Can you describe? Somehow we're getting your voice back. Can you describe what is this black holes you're talking about? Where were they?
It was we're getting 4th flight, last flight, and after we decided to using another one shift, sheet for covering from the bore carburetor. I decided to using this because before I built one system to go to blockage gamma rays, and it was working, but it couldn't be resistible enough, and I think it starts to hold when I see this black spot there. And I said, okay, let's wait, because in the 76% world reserve bore is in Turkey. You know, maybe you know about this because you're a nuclear physicist. And 76% bore reserve is in Turkey. For them, it's very easy to produces bore carbure, like a plaquette. If I'm not wrong, it was 30 or 40 centimeters each square plaquette on the left. We put it on the left before before I build like a capacitor system. We're flying 3 times with this, and 3rd time I'm seeing this black, like a torch burn on, and I said, and when we're getting flash in our eyes, and I said, okay, it's not enough our shielding, but this is not come from outside from the space. This is coming from our shielding. We create this our shielding. We spread out a lot of electrons and downstairs positron. But I think somehow it start to make damage for our body, our craft body. This. And in reality, this like armor, what I'm decided to build on the body of ship, to cover us from our how to say our environment, because we have a huge amount like electric discharge there around the ship. And
can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can you give us a rough dimension of what you're talking about? What's the size of the ball, the environment, 3 of you in it? It was 7 meter diameter?
It was a craft.
Yeah, but what was...
How much level you manipulate your coils. Because huge amount of voltage you spread out. And when it was working, craft, on the lift position when I'm talking of 3-4 meters high, standing up on air, stall. When you switch off now, you must bring down till nearly to switch off. Then you switch off, because of this we put a special keeper like that, 3 meters, to come and sitting on that. Because when you switch on, there's a jump up rapidly, like a and standing, shaking like that and standing. And because of that, you couldn't switch off exactly. If you couldn't switch off exactly, you lost your environment, bam, you fell down because of G1. Because of that, you need a special base, special, I think it's correct, it's base. So, what was it? What's the game question? Sorry.
No, it's just that we were. I wondered the environment you're talking about. How do you supply? Oh, wait. How do you supply oxygen in this space if you have created a closed environment? Or what? Within with the
tube. We will put it in a high pressure tube. We put it, but not all. We put it inside is normal atmosphere combination, because who's moving diving, they're using a lot of azote when they go into, because they on them but they have pressure in the sea. But we don't need this, because on ours in the room we don't have pressure.
Okay, if we go back on what you told us, you said you've been up 1,000 meters. What
then
other?
after we put it again 1,000. Then for last we're coming until one alien, how to say, calling this area. We will go to seeing as a colorful from North Pole on the Earth. And that's time. That's flying. After that's flying, I start to seeing this like torch burn on the ship. And after I ordering, because before, Mr. Can I show something to explain? With the camera? It's possible?
Yeah, we're watching.
So, okay, I try to find MTV page. I found it. Okay, I found one old one. What's this? This is from Mimar Sinan, who built the blue mosque. Anyway, this is old information. Because when it was like this dome, the building, it was I'm searching from Mimar Sinan architecture information for about on dome house. Anyway, it was I'm using one shoe. No, when it was I have experiment for free energy, and that time was I'm playing with the plasma ball, plasma sphere. I'm buying 2-3 from this. It was my phone I'm positioning in the middle of third effect generator because it was no neodymium. And after I want to understand how much energy I have, can I get with from the like gamma rays? And I asking from one person who's he's in university, and he bring Geiger meter, and I get when I'm measuring. I get from 40,000 volts driving. I mean, to give spark, manipulate the hydrogen. I think I think it was hydrogen because I have a blue light. It was a hydrogen gas inside. That doesn't write what kind of gas I have in this sphere on the placket. And I'm measuring from outside 400 Gauss. Sorry, gamma. It's not Gauss, it's gamma. Then if we're getting by the energy level of 400 gamma, by the usable voltage, it will come like 100 volts. And it was a good deal for free energy. Because when you go to driving this sphere ball, I'm spending only 12 volt, 3 ampere, 36 watt. And nearly I'm telling 10 times more energy. So, from this experiment, when I'm playing with this ball, after I started looking away, how can I collect this gamma ray to absorb the energy? Then after I found a way, I'm using capacitor, open capacitor, to absorb this energy around the sphere. I'm positioning one aluminum plate from North Pole. In the middle is a plastic plate, and down is a copper plate. And I'm positioning as aluminum plate for the North Pole of sphere, and the copper, the South Pole. But it's very interesting things. If you try to spinning, you put it on the one platform, a spin platform, and you're spinning the sphere, and you're driving at the same time, will come positions like, for example, this is sphere, and will come any different way, this flux, this gamma flux, gamma rays, will come like that, up and down, north and south. But when you start spinning this ball, I think because of acceleration, it's come and it closes this circuit. It will come like that. And from there I get it idea. It was I doing this before for absorb energy, and I'm using this on the close the shield for around the ship. But for spinning, I'm doing this how I told before, like accelerator from mercury gas we're running inside to create this magnetic field to cavitate down to bring north and south is called closing this. And from there, my capacitor, when I build a capacitor to absorb gamma ray to create a free energy. After I think, hey, wait a minute. Can I absorb from gamma ray with this capacitor stack system energy? If I put it this stack and I'm manipulated, I'm charging from the how to say step back whole process will must create some like a wall to not to give chance from gamma rays to go, or to put step down gamma ray to not to come so deep in the material. I mean, will come like that. Then I build this after. I mean, for a small example like prototype. And small one where I'm talking like a box, four side, and I'm sitting and positioning this sphere, this plasma sphere in the middle, and I'm starting spinning from inside. But outside I put in a Geiger. I cannot read nothing. Is what I built. It was working. And I put one shield, one placket, aluminium, plastic between them, between the copper and aluminium. Then after copper, again I put the plastic. Then after triple time feet lead, because I know lead can step down speed of gamma ray. And then after you're giving voltage from two plates, aluminium and copper plate. When you're giving a voltage, some amount of voltage, they will start to come in like shielding. But it was a fourth flying. This is couldn't keep enough to holding this craft wall, because I saw this burn spot like blackish, like black, not blackish, it's black, exactly black. I understand because it's 2 or 3 times I get from my left eyes. This eyes is like, and I know this from astronauts who's living in capsule. They have this flash, and I said, we have to get a lot of radiation. Then we're coming back. And after I'm ordering, because it was that time we have in this country.
Can I ask you what height was this? Can you give us a height? How high were you?
I told you is I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly how many meters, but one alien, like a bandwidth calling from this before the satellites orbits between one alien. We're coming a little bit upper one alien bandwidth. Then when I'm getting this flash in my eyes, I said, "We're going back. We're going back." Because I understand. I didn't say them this is radiation. They also didn't say.
No, what I want to know is there are a few questions in what you're telling us, so I'm trying to clarify that we all understand the same thing.
Let's be going.
Do you wear a seatbelt? Were you seated?
Was we built sit place like a chair for behind of us, but and on the control panel we put it like a bar chair highness, but the long like a bar, a fitness bar with a sponge. You're not sitting exactly, but you're staying. You put it your ass is on this bar, and you fit it down because all control. You don't have any fit control apparat. Everything were by the hands.
Can you explain?
Can I explain for
say all the controls are by hand. What do you mean by that?
Okay. On control, we're using 2 persons. One person, he always is checking for the power panel. We must checking, and he is responsible to main coil in the middle. What's from the middle, and the second person is fly. Is controlling for this small ball for the manipulate the direction.
Can you land on the same spot as you took off? Or you land somewhere else?
No, we're going, we didn't manipulate, we didn't go to lie down flying. We just going up, and it's night time especially, because army, military guys, they don't like to American or in other countries know about this. And we usually we're moving in night time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, from where you took off.
Sorry?
Where you took off, you always landed in the same place?
Yes, directly. We're going down, you up and down, because we didn't move it. So for flying, to test flying, we're doing in this area, in this military area. We're doing this only. It's not on the air.
How long were you up in the atmosphere?
Well, like capacity for oxygen capacity?
No. How long? What was the duration?
Doesn't matter if you could switching on.
No. When you went up, how long were you up each time?
Each test, you mean? Each test flight?
Yeah.
Is reality inside always we lost in a time because our flow working when we were coming back? It was a difference from downstairs and up. It was downstairs. They told us for two. Sometimes you don't know. One time we staying 3 hours.
Well,
another 2 hours we staying.
If you're not moving sideways, you can't land on the same spot.
I didn't tell you exactly on the same, but in the same area we're coming. Or maybe I didn't get as well your question.
No, what I'm saying, if you go up, according to what we know, the Earth rotates around.
I'm going up, okay? Yeah. For first flying, we're going 1,000 feet. And after the second time, we're going 2,000 feet. Then after, they told us 36 kilometers. We must try, because it was this pilot officers. It was with us. But you know what's the funny thing? I don't believe them. Because they could not measuring our distance, even with laser. How they could go to tell me, okay, you're going there, you're coming here? It was I tried to give you
there is a question mark. There is a question mark that if you go up for 2 or 3 hours, you should land somewhere. Don't know.
To China, near to China we must go in.
Yeah, but they can't land on the same spot in Turkey. That's my question.
Yes, because the world is moving at the same time. I know about this.
Yeah, but how can you land on the same place?
We're coming on the same place again. Same place, I'm in the same area. When we're coming and we open a door, again it's coming there. How's happened this? I don't know. And always, our time, our clock, I'm checking this, we're staying about, we're staying back. It's not like not moving.
Okay, stop. There is a question. I'm going to ask you something because we have a reference point. You told us that you made the craft 7 meters in diameter, correct?
So from the middle, when it opens, 7 meters going and then around.
But was it closed structure or is it a flat structure?
How I showed before, last teaching. Was not exactly like this, but it's here. But you can change this.
No, I'm gonna ask a question. Where did you see the black spots?
On the shielding, on the craft. When we switch off everything, always I'm checking up and down everywhere. It's happened something.
Inside or outside?
Outside, on the aluminium, I'm so black spot.
Okay, no problem. Because I have to ask you these questions, and the others will say he didn't say this, he didn't say that. So I'm trying to that we understand fully. Let me tell you what we see now. In the test, somebody who's listening knows who it is. We are seeing the same black spots on the ceiling where the test is taking place. We're talking black spots on the ceiling of a house, yeah. And I was asked, what are these black spots? Understand that there is a self-formation core in the building.
Yes.
And understand that the system, why do you think you have these black spots?
I'm thinking.
Somebody, let me explain you. Somebody is testing the space reactors. Yeah, a star formation. And on the ceiling, just around the light, they're observing black spots on the ceiling.
Like you mean room?
Yeah, in the house, yeah.
They crazy? Why are they doing this in the house?
Yeah, but it's everybody testing. We don't have all garages and we don't have military base to go outside. We're all testing in funny places. No. Let me.
Reflection.
Pardon?
It's possible to have a reflection on the body.
It's a plasma. It doesn't do any harm. No, but what I was trying to establish in talking about the black spots, because in a lot of tests in reactors, we have seen black spots. These black spots comes from the energy release. It's just like
gamma ray?
No, these are the energy release in the structure. We see it. So you're telling us something which we already have seen, even in the test in Tehran 7 years ago. In our plasma nuclear reactors, we saw these spots, these burning spots. Now people who are using the star formation are reporting it on top of the light, where the light's hanging from the ceiling in our region.
around.
So, yeah.
But there's a
Wait. Is Alex about? Do we see Alex in the background? Rick?
No. I cannot.
Wait. No, wait.
I think so. Let me unmute him and see. There, he's unmuted himself there. Alex?
Alex, could you explain to us? Hi, darling. Alex, can you explain to us the black spots on the ceiling?
Oh, well, I started noticing it a couple of days ago, and then I was surprised. I didn't know because I put on a new star formation configuration, and then I started seeing the spots, so I don't know how it got there.
Could you tell us where they are?
Just under the lights, the chandelier in my living room.
My God, you're testing in the living room.
No, it's my kitchen. I mean, no, the reactor is not in my living room. It's in my kitchen, but the formation, I mean, the rings are on the lights in the living room.
Only around the light?
Yeah, just only around the light.
What is the shape?
Like a ball from copper wire.
No, it's not copper wire. It's just a ring.
No, it says, is it like a bulb?
Lamp holder box.
Yeah, the lamp holders, I think they're brass, not copper, they're brass.
No, it's copper wire. When you're using a lamp holder box in the concrete or in the ceiling, like a box, okay? And you're using like a junction box there, and it does come and go a lot of cable.
No, he's got a copper, or what they call the brass cover top.
Yeah, the chandelier has some brass, and then well, I think it's copper wire in there. So I don't know what's causing that.
Okay. Now maybe
there's a metal there.
Yeah, he's holding is a copper. It's a copper holder. Everything is made of brass. The chandelier.
Yeah, I think so.
Where's hanging this brass metal is hanging like lamp holder in the ceiling. Concrete, you have junction box, and in the junction box you have copper cable, like electric cable.
Yeah.
And between that, at least you have two metals, and the ceiling line, when they coat it, will come like capacitor there.
Oh yeah.
Two different metal, and between two of them is ceiling plaster, plasting. This plasting has come from clay, and this clay is resistible.
But it's not a ceiling. I mean, it's not. I mean, I think it's because I live in the blocks of flats, so it's not a proper ceiling. I think it's just a decking. So it's the proper wall.
Yeah, what it's trying to say, the copper wire which goes into the light plus the hook or the dish which is underneath is creating like a capacitor, two plates and a capacitor.
Okay.
Between plastic climb on the ceiling, working. I think this is my opinion. Started working because clay is resistible for the electric potential electric, and start working this to. Okay, they have high distance. Maybe atmosphere also making gap between two of them, but we're giving like a capacitor effect. And this discharge, when coming this discharge, it's possible to make black spots around of ceiling.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, I don't know.
But can I ask you a question, Alex?
Yes, sir, Mr. Pest.
The living room is next to the kitchen, I presume.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Is the direction of the black spots in one direction towards the kitchen, or is it all over?
No. It's towards the window that faces the garden.
So it's on the other side. It's away from the kitchen where the star formation is.
Yeah.
All in one direction.
I mean, it's not even. I mean, the ring is not even. It's not evenly colored. Some part, the one that is close to the garden is darker than the one that's on the other side of the ring.
Okay. No, it's just that I wanted to bring something in. You asked the question, what are these black spots?
Yeah, yeah, I understand
Now,
that.
now you understand, maybe you got your answer.
Okay, okay,
We
thank you.
see, you're welcome. We see a lot of energy release
Yeah,
from plasma.
my house is full of energy now. No one eats in my house anymore. No one is hungry in my house anymore, including me. Even if I don't eat, I feel full.
Are you all becoming Martians?
We might be growing tails soon. It's okay. I was trying to replicate the experiments of the one, what's his name, Swahid did. I put my phone in, I put my phone close to the new star formation I did, and I put the 136.1 hertz in it. And then I put a bottle of water close to the reactor with a drop of nano GANs. I'm making GANs. The bottle is making GANs by itself.
Can you repeat that?
All right. The new star, the experiments Swahil did,
yeah,
with the signal, the tone generator. So
explain to what the test was. A lot of people haven't read chat. Not many people have access to that chat room.
Okay, the test was that I think he was able to control the reactor, the single core reactor, which is mine.
Yeah, what it is, let me get, but here, is Sohail around, or is he still not, we can't see him? He was supposed to be here. Rick, can you see him around?
Let me have a look here. I don't see him yet.
Okay, I give you an insight of what they've done. He was supposed to come and explain this himself. They have filled the reactor with CO2, and they have subjected the reactor to 136.1 hertz frequency noise for 4 days in a box, in a closed box.
Like is a voice like a bee buzzing, like
no, that? we don't know. He's got to come and explain. I'm just giving a background to it because he wrote it in one of the chat rooms. There are 50 people or so, no more there. But there's hundreds, thousands of you are listening, so you all know what's happening. So what he's done, he's put the core, CO2 core, single core, into a box and subjected the reactor to 136.1 hertz frequency for 4 days. Then he uses a headphone, and using the same frequency, if I understand correctly what it tells us, he starts communicating with the reactor. We put the reactor out of the box, and he decides mentally that he wants the reactor to move with his eyes, but his thoughts is showing with his eyes. And the reactor moves or starts moving to that direction, and even, I don't know, whatever, it falls over in that direction where the reactor had no reason, it's been running for times, had no reason to fall over as it comes to move. So he has tested the situation in telepathically to control the movement of the reactor by his thoughts, and they have found some parallel work or something that can investigate the correctness of the thought movement through the 136 hertz. And he's flown to London with a team of scientists there to test this today. That's why we can't get hold of him. He's most probably with them.
It's possible frequency is coming in the passing through the shielding?
No, there is no shielding. He is running a reactor with CO2. And so the assumption is because his brain contains CO2, carbon and oxygen. So he has made what you call like a loop between himself and the reactor, and he can move the fields of the reactor inside. So I said I don't make any comment until he comes, but this is what Alex is talking about. So carry on, Alex.
Yeah, so when I place the bottle, the bottle of water and a drop of nano GANs in the water, this morning when I woke up, I discovered that the bottle had ganses in it, CO2 ganses in it.
But is the bottle subjected to 136.1 hertz?
The same environment like the reactor. It was just close, like some 2 or 3 centimeters away from the reactor, and then my phone as well, the one that I used to generate the.
Can you take a video of it and share it with us, or can you open the camera and show us?
There's no way I can do that now, Mr. Kesh. Maybe I can upload it later and send it online.
Yeah, send it online. Send it to me and I'll have a look. Okay.
Okay.
No problem. So what we're trying to see, as you understand, we're trying to be precise, that we don't bring fiction into just talking. Then we join the rest of the what do you call it, talking out of experience, and we understand what we're talking, what parallels we see in where we see. So the release of the black spots, what you'd say, we have already reported a long time ago, even in past teachings in past few weeks, that when the energy is released from the plasma, when it comes in a matter state, it's the conversion of the plasmatic into matter, creates a nanolayer on the matter side. We've seen this the same with the test with Renan in the Philippines. When they open the wires, which had never been subjected to, but they could have the plasma passing through them, they see dark cover, black spots on it, or black covering of the material. This is when the energy of the plasma converts into the matter state. And it creates a nano layer of itself that it can transport into. The reason I'm going to go on camera that you understand this, is if you can see it, if this is if it's the material, and
no,
if this.
No, I cannot see you.
Can you see my drawing?
No.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can. Okay. This is the copper wire. This is the nano layer. And then what happens when the plasma comes with a higher strength, passing in either way the material, in the contact layer, it releases this energy. That this release of energy creates nano layers. Is the interaction, is exactly putting a low current through the wire. That's why you get nano coating. The plasma at the interface between the matter state releases enough energy that allows the conversion of molecular structure to nano. Then you see it as a dot, you see it as a burn material. And when you have a single direction plasma which hits at the same time, it creates an environment here on the spot at the point of interaction, a local nano material that it can allow its energy to go through to the matter state. The interface in changing a plasma to a plasma current flow to electron current flow releases energy which leads at that level to creation of nanomaterial at the point of, that's what you see. It's not a burn, it's a conversion at that point. If you test this, is nano-coated material.
Wow.
You understand?
All aluminium.
Oh, doesn't matter what. It could be wood. It has plasma itself cannot go through the matter in one go. At the point of conversion, into the electron flow, it needs a transition material. And that transition material comes through nanolayering. It releases so much energy at the low level plasma that the molecular structure opens up and creates nanomaterial, and then at that point finds an interface between the environment and the matter state. That's why you get the burn spot. You create a nano layer in a spot that the energy transfer from plasmatic to matter can take place.
Okay.
Okay, that's why you will see that.
Can I have two questions? Can I have two questions?
Yes. Yes.
First of all, first question, when you're asking me when we go to landing and back on the same point, can be possible, can have possibility we lock it Earth's gravitational magnetic field between our ship and then we're moving like a satellite, how to keeping a position, same position?
That's what you've done, most probably.
Okay. Because when I'm thinking, when you give me this
we have a camera. Sorry. We have a camera from a guy called Sanap Chan. Can you close it or can you shut that down, please? Okay. Carry on. Ask the question.
I mean, when we look at together our magnetic gravitational field between Earth, and we start to move it, turning around on the orbit from some distance orbit, like a satellite. That means.
In a way, it could be, but this is what I cannot understand. How you come back to the same position?
Well, I'm saying
is the possibility. So,
yes.
Because you said to us you didn't flow like this. When you don't flow, you see, you explain a few things that brings to the point that you have tested. I have no doubt in what you've done, but we have to be able to explain how and why.
Yes, of course, but
so you see what is possible. Let me explain to you how it's done. You will do it. All of us will do this in a space. This is called, as you know, I explained this before, it's known as twinity. So you have created a gravitational magnetic field force in respect to a position. If this is your position and you create a gravitational magnetic field with respect to this position, then your reference point is always that position. So when you are on Earth, gravitational magnetic field of Earth at the point of your departure, is created in respect to this, not in respect to the whole environment of the Earth. So you always have the continuity, so you always can come back to the same reference point.
We'll lock it there.
It's locked because gravitational magnetic field of the Earth in that point, in that respect, doesn't matter how it goes, always is locked. That's how you started it. This is how we lock to the positions in a different environment in cosmos. We create a gravitational magnetic field in respect to a position in cosmos. So our point of reference, doesn't matter where we go, is always this point, gravitational magnetic field put till we change it. This is one of the reasons when we see flight, rapid flight, we see a nothing and it starts sensing a flash. Because you change the point of reference. The flashing of the sudden departure is mainly through the change of position. What does this mean? Is that
it was they report when we're jumping, when we're going, flying, is behind, after us, they seeing this flash, big flash, then after they get some smell of ozone smell, a huge ozone smell.
Quite possible. It happens. But what happened, doesn't matter where you fly, in what position, your point of reference is this point, because you created your gravitational magnetic field in respect to this point to gain position. So doesn't matter how you swing, unless you change it, this is always your point of reference.
I understand.
Yeah. When you go into space, you create a gravitational magnetic field in respect to the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth at a given point. So you always come back to the same point. It's a self-locking system. Okay? Because you take off, you always come back to the same point as long as you haven't changed the point. There is something Yes.
That's a straight line from it's called the center of gravity of the bigger sphere to that other X point. Is that always in a straight line to the middle of that sphere, the middle of the center of the gravity of that sphere?
More or less, yes, but in a way from the point of reference, because the structures like Earth.
Couldn't do it at an angle to that sphere, right at the edge. You would have to go
No.
straight in.
No,
And
what happens depends on is when we take a position in respect to Earth at a given point. Not only the gravitational field of the Earth is interacting, is the inertia of the matter within the structure counts too. This is why a lot of you have a problem, you reduce weight and you don't see lift and you're getting frustrated because you are handling half of the situation because of the matter state reactors. So you always fly in respect to this, but when you fly outside zone, you fly in respect to the totality. And then when you come back, you create the reference point, gravitational magnetic pole, let's say Arizona, what do you call it, airport, and such a position. You just land in the place because that's the gravitational magnetic field which is created at the point of departure. It's always remembered. Even though the gravitational magnetic field internally of the planet is continuously changing. Because you lock to the inertia part of it more than the gravitational magnetic field part of it. It's in time you will understand. There was thank you very much, Mr. Ali. We're going to do a little bit of expansion on knowledge, and we come back to you next week again.
Can I have one more question, please?
Yes.
Okay. If it's happened this, and we built our shielding around. It was I'm thinking. This is my opinion. What we're doing is like experiment. It was an electric discharge, but you said it's plasma. It's possible.
It's a plasma.
Okay.
If this is where mainly the work of Tesla got stuck. Tesla could not differ between the magnetic field and the plasmatic field. He worked on vectors in the wrong way.
Sorry,
yeah.
can I continue a question? Okay, if we create around of us our shielding from plasma, and my ship positioning in the middle of this plasma, and I see this black spot, it means from my environment has to come some energy, plasmatic energy. Is it possible to punching on the metal, for example, aluminum card, and after transferring from plasma condition to
but we got you get these spots on both sides, inside and outside. Depends what field is attracting and what field is repelling. Are you repelling high at the level, or are you receiving high?
Inside I didn't found, only surface, on the outside.
Outside, that's so your gravitational field is absorbing at the level of the radiation. Where because that's why I said 80% of the loss of life in the space will be not understanding the process of plasma transfer. This is one of the biggest problems. Thank you very much, Mr. Ali. We learn more from you. We'll have you again next week.
Thank you very much for everybody.
Thank you very much. There is something which came out of the conversation with Mr. Ali last week with mercury, and I've been asked to clarify this point. Mercury has a specific characteristic, where in its work, mercury carries the state of solid, liquid, and gas at the same time, or vapor, you call it. This is in its matter state. Don't forget that in our teachings, whatever you all have done, be done in past few months, and I just explained on the last drawing, more or less, if I can find it. When plasma enters a body or leaves a body, or we try to create nano layers, we go from the state of matter to nano, from molecular to atomic in gas state, in plasma state, and then into plasma, or vice versa. It's both ways. So the problem with mercury at Earth gravitational magnetic field is, as we said in the creation of the nano layers on a copper plates which use CO2, is that we loosen the magnetic gravitational field strength from molecular we create enough heat, just enough energy is given on this layer, on the boundary layer, that the atomic structure loosens up to individual. So the heat converts molecular structure to atomic structure. If you look at the behavior of mercury, this happens in these levels. So mercury, when is in the atmospheric condition, behaves in the matter state. When enters the body of the man, the same state, we see it as solid or liquid, but for the transformation, remember what we said, the minute an entity, matter or gas, enters the mouth of the man, passing the back passage or within the closed mouth of the man, where it has no interaction with the atmosphere, or when it enters the air, enters your nostrils, it does not confer and work in a matter state atmospheric condition. It works in a gas state condition. So now the mercury, which is in a both liquid or solid or a vapor state, entering the body of the man, behaves as a nanomaterial, it behaves as a gas. Because it behaves as a gas due to the salt condition of the body of the man. And this is the point when it becomes in a gas state, now operates within the gas state of the body of the man. And this is where our problem sits with mercury in the body of the man. Because mercury, we think we put it in amalgams of our teeth when they do a tooth filling, but in breathing, in chewing, we continuously grind it into its vapor state by chewing, and we breathe it through our nose. So it's automatically converted into the gas. We continuously breathe in gas. And then what happened, because it has a specific gas condition, then it behaves and interacts with the coordination part of the, what you call it, motoric section of the body of the man. And this is partially the reason in half interacts with motoric, and it confuses the emotionalic with the motoric. And this is the reason we see such a huge damage with immunization, that they add mercury to it as a matter state, but in the world of science they have not understood that the mercury in the body of a man behaves as a gas. And then it creates a mayhem with immunization, and we see all the dyslexic, motoric problem and psychological problem which comes with it. This is the important part. This is why we see psychological damage with the tooth filling, with the mercury filling. Because every time you chew, you vaporize it. You rub your teeth together, you become fine of it. And because the heat is just right enough when you're chewing due to the friction of the teeth. If you look at the structure of the tooth and the jaw, you can roughly say who is vulnerable to, what do you call it, diseases like neuro diseases through mercury. The way you chew it, you vaporize it automatically in a very small dose. As this vapors automatically goes to your nostrils, it doesn't go into your blood. It behaves like a gas, affects the brain, and slowly increase the mercury content in the brain. And that has a gravitational magnetic field strength which affects partially the motoric and the emotional part, which what we call in the present time, we see autism. Do not forget, every single cell in the brain of the man has a specific gravitational magnetic field in respect to where it is and the position it's holding. So now, in so many ways, we know why immunization, the 3 they do, is dangerous. That the world of science, even we've seen to the reports to the House, to the Senate, to the American government, it has proven that there's mercury in the immunization injections. The reason for it is that the world of science, first of all, has never understood that the body of the man does not work on the matter level, it works on the plasmatic GANs level. And secondly, because of the atmospheric and the structure of the mercury on the atmospheric structure of the Earth, mercury, while is floating between the 3 states of the matter, but it goes through the same transition at the same time as a nanolayer and a GANs. As it goes through one, the way you do it, you don't create a liquid at this point. If it was a copper, you don't create a liquid. You create enough heat that the molecular structure separates, but it doesn't flow. So you create your nanometers here. That's why you nano-coated copper. But in the state of the mercury, there is no transition. As long as it's in a matter state, we see the way we see it. But when it enters the body of the man, it behaves as a plasma, as a GANs. And its gravitational magnetic field strength is equal to the part of the brain of the man which affects motoric operation and psychological at the same time. So it touches both emotional and physical part of the brain, and this is a problem we see with immunization. If mercury is withdrawn, but is there a possibility that they do not introduce mercury to the immunization? They, by adding different chemicals into the structure of the three what we call I think it's called something. It's measles, mumps, and MMR, rubella. So the chemical which they produce for each one is possible that in interaction with each other, they create a gravitational magnetic field of mercury in the body of the man. But if they introduce mercury for certain reasons, if you withdraw it, the immunization is the best gift given to man. But that's why they deny it, because the world of science has not understood this process. And that's why they're fighting and saying, no, it's not. They are not poisoning you. We have to understand what does the gravitational magnetic field of the immunization in mixing 3 creates the behavior of the mercury, which creates both, affects both at the strength of the gravitational and emotional part of the body of the man. Then we have solved the problem. But if they don't produce mercury, but the interaction of the 3 gives rise to gravitational magnetic field of the mercury, then that's a different matter. We have to separate it. But if they add mercury to it, then this is a criminal offense.
That's I'm using now omega-3, omega-6, and olive oils. I think because of mercury. When was we playing?
Yes, but we have to understand the process. We're trying to explain the process. Why we see. We were sitting somewhere in the past few days with Caroline, and in a small batch, we've seen 5, 6 children with autism, and they were all perfect, more or less, before immunization. If in a small batch there is so many, how many children are getting affected by immunization? And why certain children get infected by immunization? This is the question we have to ask. So I think it's what we can do in so many ways. There is maybe a solution. Maybe there is a solution. Is that if we can produce very much a water which carries the gans of the, we can put a mercury on the top. Let me get it out. And we do the same thing as we did. And before our children receive the injection of the mercury, or what we call the MMR, we allow the syringe or whatever the medicine to be floating in the water, where here we place the gans of mercury, that we transfer the damaged mercury energy out of the glass, out of the environment. Is it possible? Can we do such extraction? Can we cover and safeguard our children? But is it possible even if they didn't have, now we put here, we add to it, we increase the problem. There is a machine which we know can tell us what is the problem. We can now, there is a scientific scale which can judge, we can measure, which can identify if mercury is damageable to the body of the child before he receives the injection. We can exclude those. I've seen it, it's coming back to me sometime in next 2 or 3 weeks here in Barletta. We can, the machine, the technology is available, it's Italian, that we can specify, and I know other people have this machine, that if mercury is acceptable by the body or not. So we can find a separate solution for the children and reduce the risk of autism and all the mental damages which comes with immunization at this moment of time. The machine is there. We try to show it, we try to bring some sanity to this situation with immunization. We need it, we have eradicated it, but mercury or gravitational magnetic field of mercury, the way I explained here, has not been understood by the world of science. Sooner or later somebody's going to get the Nobel Prize for what we just explained here, because we understand the principle of it. So this is crucial for us to understand, and now most of you should be able to live with and understand what it is. There are equipments we can more or less measure if the body of a child is vulnerable to mercury. And you can clearly scientifically show, we can do it for you here. We have the facilities hopefully here in the next couple of weeks. That is a machine, you can buy it, but we use the GANs to prove it. And then we can safeguard, at least reduce the damage on it. It takes, it's 2 minutes test. Then we see how we can at least reduce the immunization damage. Thank you very much for today. As usual, we don't answer questions because we're teaching so much. By this time, we've been on nearly 6 hours. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we meet each other next week at the same time. We have 2 more weeks of teaching of the center till the teaching courses starts back with masters. As you know, we have changed the process of the teaching to 24 what we call seminars. You have to attain a number of seminar sessions, which each seminar is 1 month. That in these seminars you collect enough balance to carry you through your what we call the degree which we give. So from opening of this year, the October or mid-September, we go by seminars and we don't give lectures or teachings. We stay with the seminars because we've seen some people can come for 2 or 3 months and then they want a gap to do something and come back again. We don't work on what we call it, the way the American system is done, by units. We work by seminars, and each seminar gets its own certificate. So you attend the seminar, you complete the seminar, you need 8 of them for 1 year, and 24 of them for 3 years. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. We learned a lot today. We learned a huge amount of information, especially with agriculture and the new generation of the nano teachers which are coming online.
Nano teachers indeed. Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Great afternoon, morning, evening.
You're going to bed? You're about 3 o'clock in the morning for you lot, I presume?
6 in the morning for me, and I have to take Guy home still, so it'll be another hour or so before I get to bed.
Would you like a coffee, not to fall asleep?
I just have one here, actually.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Vince. Thanks, everyone who participated. We learned a lot today. Thank you for your time. Please do not forget the disaster request from Small Island. Even I call it what I was told, but it's common Republic, what he explained to us. The Keshe Foundation has committed itself to first relief, and you can do the rest, because I think this is the point we need to come together. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks very much, Mr. Kesh, and that's the end of the 77th Keshe Knowledge Seekers Workshop for September 3rd, 2015. Thanks everybody for attending. I have to mute all.